Howdy, everybody. Welcome into a Wednesday edition of the B Team, a We Learned Wednesday. And boy, if you have been on social media in the last hour, we've learned quite a bit about the state of Louisiana. To continue our conversation yesterday, Texas A&M on Saturday night walked over there, and while simultaneously splattering the LSU Tigers, they pulled back the curtain on the Wizard of Oz in the state of Louisiana. We have got some clips to play you that are truly mind-blowing. An elected official, not just an elected official, the governor of the state of Louisiana, Jeff Landry, just got in front of a microphone and in front of a camera and let it all air out in a thick South Louisiana accent. Looked it up. He's from St. Martinville Parish, which they speak about half French, half English. It's just south of Lafayette. And in a very thick Cajun accent, let the world know exactly what's going on with the LSU athletic department, with the head coaching search, and his supreme displeasure for the athletic director, Scott Woodward. So without further ado, I'm going to put Nick to work. I'm assuming, does he have it?
He said 1 minute.
1 minute, okay.
Wait.
We are queuing this up because
I lost
if you have not seen this clip, it's hard to fathom. It's hard to describe. It is truly
It's like something out of a movie, but like not a good movie. One of the comedies. Like it's almost like something off of Family Guy or South Park.
Here's what it is.
Or
it's The Waterboy.
I'm talking, that guy's voice for sure.
But the SCLSU Mud Dogs. And they go to the governor. He don't think you ought to play football no more. This is the cut scene from The Waterboy as narrated by Governor Jeff Landry.
You ready for it?
Yes.
Here it comes. Sorry. Let me restart. Hold on. Got a lot of moving parts here today at TexAgs. Here we go.
A very busy day.
To foot the bill. So I absolutely. Who's that? No, I can tell you right now, Scott Woodward is not selecting the next coach. Hell, I'll let Donald Trump select it before I let him do it. I don't know, but the Board of Supervisors is going to come up with a committee, and they're going to go find us a coach. Hold on. One real quick thing on that. Because here's what y'all reporters need to do. Y'all need to start looking at who represents all these people, like these agents. You know what's interesting? If I'm not mistaken, Woodward's agent, Kelly's agent, the Texas A&M, they're all the same agent. Like, you realize if I would be, I don't know how many sports writers we got here today? Just you. We should have a bunch. Okay? Like, this is ridiculous. Lawyers would be disbarred for the way these agents act and the way they're able to represent. In fact, there's no doubt, they may even represent some of the players now. Like, it's really time for the NCAA to put on some guardrails in college sports. Because, and it's fine. We don't need the guardrails. If big billionaires want to spend all that kind of money, no problem. But if I got to go find $53 million from Kemp, it's not going to be a pleasant conversation. I'm just telling you.
That's full of so much hyperbole and whataboutism too. Like there's a little bit of like, we do this, but what about the coaches and the players and the agents? And it is a crazy dialogue. That's not the only clip. Play the next one, Nick.
Because I want to hold on. One real quick thing on that. Because here's what y'all reporters need to do. Y'all need to start looking at who represents all these people. Like these agents. You know what's interesting? If I'm not mistaken, Woodward's agent, Kelly's agent.
That's the same one, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's about the same one. There was another one where he talks about Scott Woodward specifically and says he just cost Texas A&M $77 million, and now he's cost us $53 million. Well, that's not all true. Scott Woodward did not cost Texas A&M $77 million. That was Ross Bjork who gave Jimbo Fisher the extension and subsequent guaranteed money. Now, you could say Scott Woodward's push to get Jimbo to leave College Station for Baton Rouge caused A&M to react, but still, that was Ross Bjork's decision to give Jimbo that contract. So he's sitting in front of the camera, God and everybody in that state, saying all this about an entity that is so interwoven into the fabric and the DNA of the people over there that they just hear the governor say it and they immediately are going to continue to pile on Scott Woodward. If I'm Scott Woodward, I don't take too kindly to anything that just happened in that press conference. And it's pretty evident that he's going to be fired. No question. You need to be looking for a job. Dust off the old resume, Scott Woodward. You are about to be out of work. That's pretty clear. That was cleanly stated by the governor. But if I'm Scott Woodward, this is just an inkling that I have. This is just some intuition and knowing what I know about that state over there. I'd bet he's got some dirt on some people. And I ain't gonna go out like that. You're not gonna embarrass me in front of all these people and in front of the nation, because this has gone viral like that. In a second, it's gone viral. And if I'm Scott Woodward, I'm going, hold the phone here. Okay, you want to trash me publicly? Look what I've got. This could get a lot messier before it gets any sort of cleaned up. Before they have any kind of clearer picture of the future of the LSU football program, this could get real messy and nasty. And by the way, let's not forget, they don't have a president.
Exactly. And I think that's what's pretty much saving Scott Woodward right now, or else he'd already be out, right? Scott Woodward would already be fired if they had a university president. If I'm Scott Woodward, yeah, to your point about digging up dirt, absolutely. I think you should go and do that, because I'm sure
I don't think he's going to have to do much digging. I bet he's got it.
Sure. The other thing I would say is I know athletic directors aren't paid as handsomely as football coaches, but I know that contract's probably got a buyout.
Oh, you're going to pay him every cent.
And I don't think Scott Woodward, when they eventually do fire him, they're not going to fire him for cause. They're going to owe him a lot of money. And if I am Scott Woodward, I am going out fighting tooth and nail, and until they decide they want to pull the trigger, whenever they get a president or whatever, the governor, I don't even know his name.
Jeff Landry.
Yeah, Mr. Jeff Landry, Marble Mouth. Whenever he wants to pull the trigger and fire him, just keep collecting the paycheck until then, dude. You obviously don't have to do anything.
Nick, the house is too small over there. Texas is so big, you don't have to worry about the governor meddling in the head football coaching job at Texas A&M or Texas Tech.
Well, you lived over there, for how long, and LSU is that state's, I don't know what the right way to phrase it is, but everyone there is an LSU fan, right? Whether they went there or not. No wonder why that's going on.
But but the house is too small for you to be saying this stuff if you're the governor. Right? You have meddled in this completely now, and openly you've meddled. So you have, to me, you have allowed yourself to be an open book for other things that may, Scott Woodward may have some stuff that has not gone on right above him that he's been holding. And by the way, again, you're trying to hire a university president amidst all this. And this is something we said yesterday, Richard, is who wants to walk into that?
Not me.
You've set up the next person into just a mare's nest of epic proportion.
Well, they're
financially, personally, emotionally.
And everybody in the world, you said everybody in the state and God are getting an open door. Or I guess not really an open door, but we are all getting to peek right through the window at just how dysfunctional the entirety of the state of Louisiana and Louisiana State meltdown truly are. And if you're sign me up for that, you are insane.
They're going to have to hire people from Louisiana to clean this up, because I don't think you're going to get an outsider that wants to come into this. Now, the LSU head football coaching job, ton of prestige. I'm not saying they got to hire Ed Orgeron back. But what I am saying is for the president, who's going to be charged with cleaning a lot of this up, and the athletic director, having some serious roots in the state, I think, is going to be necessary.
Well, is it even possible to go and clean this up? You keep using the term clean this up. For a university president, when you know the governor has his nose in your business all the time, and that's the guy who truly carries the big stick in your state, is it truly possible for you to clean things up? It's almost like you could be vacuuming or mopping, and the dog with dirty paws is walking right behind you like a shadow.
There's too many pigs at the trough at this point, right? Everybody thinks that they're in charge. So how does one singular person go in there and say,
you can't.
You guys are not running the search, I am. You guys are not calling agents, I am. And this is just on the athletic side. Never mind, I'm sure that university's got all kind of problems academically, social issues, all the stuff that university presidents have to deal with. There's also going to be heaped on him a very public and a very nasty coaches firing, AD, governor, I guess, combat, fight.
Spat.
All of this is
cat fight
just laid into this person's lap. And then he did have this to say. This is the final clip. I think Nick found it. This is Governor Jeff Landry of Louisiana talking about.
It's 2 minutes, so just tell me when to cut it off.
Okay, this is him talking about Scott Woodward.
The first question is absolutely correct. We are not going down a failed path. And I wanted to tell you something. This is a pattern. The guy that's here now that wrote that contract cost Texas A&M $70-something million. Right now, we got a $53 million liability. We are not doing that again. And you know what? I believe that we're going to find a great coach. I mean, maybe we'll let President Trump pick it. He loves winners. I'm not going to be picking the next coach.
I guess it bleeds into it, but yeah.
He loves to pick winners.
What did the sign say on his podium? Protecting the most vulnerable.
The first question is absolutely.
Okay. That's pretty heavy-handed for that to be the messaging on your podium whenever you're spouting off about
protecting the most vulnerable.
Whenever you're talking about the state having to spend $53 million, or he keeps saying we, right? Which is kind of funny that if you're the governor and you're saying we, to me that infers that you're talking about a government entity paying off this $53 million when it should be public funds. But we know over there is a history. There is precedent that we know that they don't always do that by the letter of the law.
We're going to get you a beautiful football coach. We're going to win so much, Nick Savage. You're going to get tired of winning. I've been down here in the state of Louisiana. It's very beautiful. I love the swamps. I love the weather. I love
Gotta drain the swamp.
They got Death Valley, they call it. We're going to drain the swamp. We're going to get back to winning Le Bon Temps Relais. That's what they say down here. Beautiful phrase. Don't know what it means, but it's beautiful. And we're going to get back to winning because I love winners, and I'm going to hire a winner right here for all the beautiful people of Louisiana.
The best part about this is I know they flew to Baton Rouge, but the Texas A&M team comes in on Yellow Dog buses. And as part of a prank, Tommy Moffitt says before the game, we're going to beat these guys, and then I'm going to tie the curtain to the circus to the back of our bus. And as we drive west on I-10 and we cross the Sabine River, we're going to pull this giant curtain away so the entire nation can see what an absolute circus is going on over here. A&M did that. I told you yesterday that there were so many people on that opposing sideline in that building Saturday night that weren't going to be able to handle that Texas A&M did this to us.
It reminds me of that video of the European soccer fans where the guy steps up on the barrier and he's screaming and yelling, and one of the guys behind him pulls down his pants. That's what Tommy Moffitt did to the entire state of Louisiana. It's been amazing.
Well, and speaking of this too, I'm going to send you. Actually, I'm going to read this because I sent it to Cade, Nick, and we didn't get to it yesterday. But just in the state of Louisiana and then the state of Mississippi, there has been the news articles coming out of this the last couple of days. This region of the country have been wild. I meant to get to this yesterday. I actually teased it off the top of yesterday's B Team show, and I completely forgot about it. And I'm an idiot, but
yeah,
this is a wild story out of Jasper County in Mississippi. This is looks like a sheriff's department release via Facebook that was screenshotted and put on Twitter, and I found it. Nick, you need to hear this, so I'm going to wait for you to get back there and put your headphones on, because this seems like, especially the tail end of this, would be something that Nick would read, and he's like, okay, it's time to go to war. He straps up and he's
time out. Nick doesn't have to strap up. That man stays strapped. He's already ready to go to war.
On October 28th, 2025, a wreck occurred on I-59 near mile marker 117. This was a truck carrying rhesus monkeys from Tulane University. The monkeys are approximately 40 pounds. They are aggressive to humans, and they require PPE to handle. The monkeys carry hepatitis C, herpes, and COVID. They also attend Texas Tech University. I'm kidding. I added that part. Tulane University has been notified and will send a team to pick up the monkeys tomorrow. This is where Nick's favorite part comes in. They advised if the monkeys leave the wreck site, they need to be shot. I can see Nick putting on leather gloves, checking his ammunition, telling his wife, "Sorry, babe, I gotta go. The universe,
Duty's calling."
Yeah, the universe is calling me.
This is like some Planet of the Apes type stuff, Nick.
So these wild monkeys are running around central Mississippi.
But to me, it's like, why isn't the shoot on sight option? Like, why isn't that the first step? Like, why even try to save them? I don't get it.
Well, because they say that you need PPE to handle them. They said they're aggressive toward humans. So if I see one of these wild monkeys, 40-pound wild monkeys running at me, I'm going to put on my rubber gloves and my mask.
Yeah, and your hazmat suit.
I'm just going to whip out the 9mm and try to put one between its ears. You warned me that these things are aggressive toward humans and they carry all kind of disease. But listen, there's going to be some rednecks in Mississippi that see shoot on sight and get real fired up.
They're very
fired up.
They're very excited. Seems awesome. I'm just excited for the because this is just like the tip of the iceberg with this story. Oh, I'm so excited to see where it goes.
In the age of the internet, the cell phone videos coming out of this are going to be awesome. Awesome. I hope my algorithm pops up a few.
Can't wait. I'm so excited.
I'm not a Planet of the Apes guy, but I might have to start watching that series, that franchise now.
It's also bye week, and I know for a fact that Mrs. Savage is out of the country, and it's just Nick hanging out.
Correct.
What if this guy's he's planning...
See how long it takes to drive to Jackson, Mississippi.
He's planning a trip to Jackson.
Jasper County, excuse me. Let's see where
Jasper County, Mississippi.
Where is that at? The first Google thing is Jasper County, Mississippi monkey.
It's I don't even know. It's like Meridian's over here, Jackson's over here, and Jasper's like in the middle.
So central
it's
Mississippi.
North of Hattiesburg. Like it's right in that triangle of Meridian, Hattiesburg, and Jackson.
So south central Mississippi.
Yes. And it would take you from College Station, Texas. Nick Savage, I know you're trying to figure out how fast you can get there. 8.5 hours.
Easy.
Nick
sounds
might
like
make
a night
trip.
operation.
Yes, just load the truck up. Get in the truck about 11 o'clock. Load up with about 5, 6, maybe 7 white monsters, and we go to Mississippi to go monkey hunting.
Monkey hunting with Nick Savage.
What are they, how do you say that? Resus? I'm going to look up and see
you
what
said
these...
racist.
Yeah, it sounded like you said that.
It's REHSUS. Whoa, they're Indo-Chinese. Oh, they're a macaque.
A macaque?
Yeah, I wonder if there's a big macaque. They're 40-pound macaques. They are.
There ain't
Google
no
them.
macaque
Google
in
them.
here that's 40 pounds.
I don't want a 40-pound macaque running at me. Why would they make me try to pronounce RHESUS?
But what I'm saying is you don't have a 40-pound macaque.
I don't need one.
That's right, you got a dolly.
No.
She's just as much of a crackhead as the racist monkeys.
Indo-Chinese rhesus. I don't know how you say this word, but they're macaques.
Retweet, Kay Nagley. She just texted me. Yeah, that place sucks.
What?
Jackson, Mississippi.
What's wrong with Jackson?
Nothing.
I'm going to Jackson. Do you want to come on and air your grievances?
No. She's not going to air these grievances on air, Kay. I'm going to save you. Stay there.
You don't have to speak for her.
Well, I'm not trying to speak for her, but I'm trying to be the voice of reason here, which you guys know I am not very often.
Do you like, you know that song, Nick, I'm Going to Jackson?
Yes, of course.
Johnny Cash and June Carter?
Duh.
Yeah. George Strait has a cover of it.
With
I saw something that
Martina McBride, right?
I mean, she performed it maybe with him at his quote unquote final concert. Yeah.
Nick Savage, can I tell you a story that'll really piss you off? Can I tell you a story that'll really piss you off?
Sure.
I had tickets to that show in Arlington.
Wow.
Didn't go.
That does tick me
Decided
off.
to hang out with my high school buddies because they won the state championship in baseball that day. Stupid decision.
Wrong
I would have
move.
taken it back because I'm not friends with any of those dudes anymore. I should have gone to the George Strait concert.
Bad move, dude.
I know. That's you want to talk about lifelong regrets? That's one of the top.
Yeah.
I was looking for it. There was an Instagram page that I found that all they do is highlight songs that you didn't know were covers. And there's a bajillion people walking around, like, for instance, they don't know that Tennessee Whiskey is a cover.
Yeah.
But there were a couple in there that I was like, I did not know. Did you know Too Cold at Home by Mark Chestnut's a cover?
You're going to be upset, but my knowledge of Mark Chestnut's songbook is not very deep because I was not a boy in Beaumont.
Unbeknownst cover songs. See if I can find this real quick. 42 songs you didn't know were covers. So apparently there's a 21-minute YouTube video over this. Does it change how you think about a song when you figure out that it's a cover?
No, not at all.
No.
Really?
Not at all. Again,
Can you think of
second
a
George
cover
Strait
song?
reference, but like, is this they didn't write it type of thing?
No.
Okay.
I think George Strait's, some people have certain talents, right? Like there are people that are talented singer and songwriters. There are people that are talented singers. There are people that can't sing but can really songwrite. Taylor Swift. But
now you're going to get somebody come in here and throw hands.
What? I'm not saying she's untalented. I'm saying that she is a performer, not a great singer.
I'm not making any
songwriter.
comments on any of that, but when you say anything less than 1,000% positive about certain individuals, a certain rabid group of fans will come after you for no reason.
Are you talking about Arch Manning?
Good one. That was solid.
Can neither confirm nor deny. Or what did Coach Moffitt say earlier? I cannot recall.
I don't recall.
I don't recall.
I do not recall. Plead the fifth.
I do not recall.
But no, what I'm saying is somebody calling you?
No. Jenna's. See, there you go. There you go.
Oh, she's texting.
Yeah, she's not. She said you need to stop because she's part of that group. Arch Manning.
What
fans.
I'm saying is, I didn't know that Jenna was an Arch Manning fan. What I'm saying, Nick, is there are certain covers that I feel like if I like them, if I don't know their covers, and then like I find out that George Jones was the original artist for a country song that has been redone that I like, I feel kind of guilty. Like, man, George Jones is a legend. Like,
not at all.
I'm not supposed to like the cover more than the original.
That's totally fine.
But like, I feel like if I know what the original sounds like and I know who sang it, and then I hear a cover that's better, I don't have that guilt.
I have that problem with live versions of songs. Like sometimes they're like Randy Rogers Band, they're live at Billy Bob's album.
Incredible.
Pretty much every song on that is better than their recorded version.
I agree.
So it's like I have that problem with live versions sometimes.
While we're on at Randy Rogers album, live at Billy Bob's, the version of Lost and Found, it's an extended version. He introduces the band. Listen to it probably a million times. My favorite live version of any song ever. It's so good.
Yeah, that whole album is awesome.
It's like 8 minutes. But he does they do solos and he lets the band perform, and then he shouts out the band and introduces them and where they're from. It's great. Are there any songs that come up off the top of your head where you know that you like the cover way more than the original?
I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
I've got two. Cover Me Up. I like the Morgan Wallen version better.
Oh, disagree. I like that. Just talk about live music. I like the live version of that Jason Isbell song. I know the popular one here is a lot of people say that Landslide by the Chicks is better than Fleetwood Mac, which I vehemently disagree with. The Fleetwood Mac version's way better. Cover versions I like more than the original. Poncho and Lefty.
Really?
Yeah, like I love. What do you mean?
Like the original? You like the cover? Cover?
The Willie cover is better than Townes Van Zant's original. Though I will say I love Townes Van Zant. I think it's great. I think his version's fantastic. I listened to a ton of his stuff. I got into him a little bit when I was living with one of my cousins in school, and my cousin Brian was playing guitar. One of our other roommates would play guitar. They would listen to Townes Van Zandt a ton. And then his music was also featured a little bit in the movie Three Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri. So I listened to a ton of Townes Van Zandt when I was younger. And that's when I first found out that Poncho and Lefty was a cover.
I think I knew it was a cover, but for some reason, it didn't. Like every time I hear Poncho and Lefty, I think Willie.
Yeah, which makes sense.
Nick, is there one that...
I'll give you a rock version. You Really Got Me, Van Halen. The Kinks are the original band, but everyone knows Van Halen or that song.
Oh, you really got me.
Yeah,
now.
that's the Kinks were the original performers, but Van Halen's better version, just way better. But any dude, I feel like half of Charlie Crockett's discography is covers just of old school country. But if I were to hear any of those older songs, I would probably prefer the Charlie Crockett version. Coulter Wall does a lot of covers. Yeah. I would prefer Coulter Wall's version.
Those are like new to me. Like Coulter Wall, maybe not so much, but definitely Charlie Crockett. They're like hipster country music artists to me.
Here's a cover.
I was watching Charlie Crockett perform here in town locally back when I was in school.
Yeah. He used to come through College Station quite a bit. Maybe the way he dresses, it's kind of Peter Pan to me.
Nah, I love it.
Cover song that's better than the original. Turnpike Troubadour's Long Hot Summer Day.
Who's the original?
I don't know. But I know it's not as good as Turnpike's. And I don't even like that I don't even like that song, but other than when it's played live, because it's awesome. Long Hot Summer Day.
While you look that up,
John Hartford.
John Hartford
wrote it in 1976.
Wow.
Doreen by them is also a cover.
I didn't know that either.
I like their version. It's good stuff.
I mentioned the Morgan Wallen Cover Me Up. I like that one better than the original. I also like Traveling Soldier, Cody Johnson's version.
That is a great version.
Also,
but I do like the Chicks version too. The one that's kind of getting a lot of intrigue or focus right now because his biopic just came out, Atlantic City. The band's version is better than Springsteen's original.
She's Acting Single by Cody Johnson, another great one.
His version's very good.
It's very good. It's a mainstay on my YouTube rotation when I get in my chair and start watching my YouTube videos. Well, that was a great topic. We didn't even have that on the rundown today.
There's so many better ones out there too. Like I can't think of them off the top of my head, just because the favorite cover versions you just associate with the act that you like most, so it's kind of hard to go back.
Here's something. I'll kind of mix what we've been talking about. So William Beckman, I'm sure both of y'all know who he is. I've seen him do an acoustic set here in town at the Tap, and he did a version of a Taylor Swift song, and it was awesome. Like it was so good. And again, I'm not a Swiftie, but I was like, dude, that rocks. Why can't Taylor Swift perform it like that? So anyways, there's one. I don't care. I'll dunk on Taylor Swift.
I'll bring it back to that. Taylor Swift and something Nick Savage likes. When Billy and I went and saw Blink-182 in Nashville, during Damn It, they kind of have a refrain, and they're kind of doing this big blowout. It's the last song of the night, and he did like a line or two, maybe the full chorus of We're Never Getting Back Together, and that's the best that song's ever heard. It was like Mark Hoppus is singing Taylor Swift song.
That's funny.
It was funny. Those guys are hilarious.
Nowadays, you can pretty much figure out an immediate, because we have the internet, you can figure out what's a cover, what's been done before. But I can remember growing up when I was in middle school, high school, like how was I going to know somebody's covering something? I just listened to it. It sounds good. And I like that. And so I think that's why you kind of get hit blindsided by maybe Poncho and Lefty being a cover, is because I grew up listening to that with my dad, and like I didn't have any way to look that up. I don't think there was an Encyclopedia Britannica entry about Willie Nelson and his discography and where all of his songs came from. But now we have the internet.
The chat's given us more. Hurt by Johnny Cash cover. Always on My Mind, Elvis Presley. I knew that. American Woman by Lenny Kravitz.
You like that version?
No, these are just guys.
I know that's American Woman. That's definitely a cover. That was by the Guess Who.
I knew I Will Always Love You by Whitney Houston was a cover. And that is a better cover than the original.
Did Dolly Parton do the original?
I think it was originally in that movie.
Well, that was the Whitney Houston version, with the one that was in the movie.
No, that's in the Best Little Whorehouse in Texas, isn't it? I Will Always Love You. That they turned that movie into a musical, or that musical into a movie.
It's Dolly Parton, the original artist of "I Will Always Love You" by Dolly Parton. Wrote and recorded the song in 1973.
And it's included in that movie, isn't it?
Do you know Dolly Parton's got to sleep on her back?
Yes, I did. And did you know if my aunt had nuts, she'd be my uncle?
This got to be the most graphic show we've done.
What are you talking about graphic?
Not true, Nick. We were here. We ate Reaper pepper dusted chicken tenders.
That wasn't it was graphic for my insides.
It was graphic for a lot.
The most graphic thing that happened was it 2 Thursdays ago, whenever the Buppies fought back against.
Yeah, that's true. No, that was when I had to run out of here.
Yeah,
Nick.
me and Matthew Dawson were driving to Waco to go cover a Rudder Ranger football game, and we kept hearing you having to leave the room and just hanging out Brawny to dry by himself.
Poor Bickham. Bickham. I mean, if it starts going bad, he's looking for a reason to make it worse.
DEFCON Cade.
Yeah, DEFCON Bickham. So to go back to my point, and this ties into this, that was a very, I guess, weak segue into. I was thinking about this morning driving in to work, and
You were thinking? Did it hurt?
I don't know why it crossed my mind. Do you remember your cell phone history?
Oh yeah.
Not your search history on your cell phone,
No.
sickos. I'm talking about like when you got a cell phone, the cell phone progression that you went through, all that. Like, do you remember each cell phone you've had?
Yeah, absolutely.
Have you ever changed numbers?
I've never changed numbers. I had the same phone number since, let me see, that's probably 2009. I was in the 7th grade. Got my
I've had the
first
same
phone
one since 2004.
because I would walk back and forth from school. My mom she thought I needed to have a phone just in case something went wrong on the quarter-mile walk to my middle school.
So what was the first phone you had?
The first phone I had was the Samsung Juke, and it was like the switchblade one. You remember that? Juke.
Okay.
Like jukebox.
Oh,
And
I
it
didn't
was
hear the K
kind
the
of a
first time.
skinny thing, and it like you would flip to open, and it would flip open, like it would slide open.
Yeah.
And I left it on the couch one day, went to Sunday school. My mom came and picked me up, and she's like, "We're gonna go to Verizon. We're gonna go." And remember, that was cool. Like, you get to go to Verizon, like look at all the cool phones, different ones. It was when
Radio Shack was popular.
that was right when like they were starting to do the flip up, where you could have the full keyboard.
I had one of those. It was
Or
sick.
one of the first touch screens as the iPhone was starting to gain traction and gain popularity. And I'm looking at phones. My mom's talking to the guy at the counter, and I'm like, "This phone's cool, Mom. This phone's cool." Blah blah blah. And she goes, "That's awesome. I think you're gonna use the one you have right now." And she threw it at me in a paper bag because I had left it on the couch, and my dog ate the bottom row of numbers off of it. Just destroyed the phone. My dog Rocket was the best golden retriever I think I've ever had. Best bond I ever had with him, or with the dog. He left his stuffed squirrel where my phone was on the couch, so it was like an even trade off. But that was the first phone I ever had.
See, yeah. So I can remember my first one was the old Nokia where you had Snake was on there.
Yeah,
And then I went to the flip phones, a Motorola flip phone. I also had a Razor.
the Razors are cool. I remember the Razors being like the thing.
When my junior and senior year in high school, I got a BlackBerry. Which, if Nick, you're probably a little young. Do you remember the
No,
BlackBerry?
dude, yeah.
Where it had the ball in the middle.
Oh, yeah.
And you could play Brick Breaker.
Yep.
Yeah.
Brick Breaker was the
and
big
that
deal.
was like.
And they had like internet too.
Yeah,
And that was
sort of.
crazy. Yeah, it wasn't very good, but
But it was like that technology was mind blowing then. I was like, how does this get any better? I've got a legitimate typewriter, a computer keyboard at my thumbs, and a giant screen. Like, how is this going to get any better? And then I went to that one where you were talking about where it was a solid black phone and it was nothing but a screen. You slid it
flip
up,
yeah.
and you had the keyboard underneath it.
I had one of those too.
That was when I was in junior college, and then when I got to McNeese, and then I started having iPhones probably shortly after that.
What was I think it was like the LG Envy, like Envy maybe? I don't know what it was, but it was like a phone. It would have your normal 12 buttons on the front, kind of like a small screen. You could hold the phone and answer it like this, but then it would like flip open like a book and had like a screen and like a bigger screen and the full keyboard. I had one of those. That was the phone one of my buddies in middle school sold me for $20 to replace the phone my dog ate.
So have either of y'all ever lived in a world where you didn't have a cell phone? Like, that where you were old enough and you were functioning on your own, but you didn't have a cell phone? Because here's what I can remember.
Well, I just said I got mine in the 7th grade. So what is your cutoff? What is functioning without a cell phone?
So I can remember my parents had their version of a Rolodex. It was like a beige box, and it was a card filing box.
Yeah.
And it had every letter of the alphabet, and behind the letter was somebody's last name. It was their contact card. And my mom would write, family members were in lime green, and then, people that went to our church were in orange, and then just people we knew around town were white, and my baseball buddies were all different. It was color coded. It was pretty cool. And like, I had to sit down and think about, how did we get a hold of people? How did I remember where people lived? How did we remember addresses? And it was all in this Rolodex that sat near so we had a landline in our house. I still remember my parents' landline phone number. I had my own phone number in my own room. I thought that was the coolest thing when I was growing up. 10, 11, 12 years old, I had my own phone in my room. Nobody ever called it. The phone number was 729-2999. I still remember that.
729
2999.
2999.
So like, it just occurred to me, like we've lived in this world where everything's at our fingertips for so long, that there was a portion of my life, about the first third of my life, I lived without all this stuff. I can't even remember what it's like to take a poop without your cell phone. Oh, who said gross?
Okay. But I'm with you, Bronny. I agree. Like, what are we going to do? Read the back of a shampoo bottle or something?
Well, I don't know if there were like nooks and crannies in the bathroom where you could put books and magazines.
That's right.
Like we had
Reader's
that.
Digest.
I think my parents still might have like one of those cutouts right next to the toilet, like in their master bathroom.
Crossword puzzles from the newspaper.
When I was a kid, we had like one of those books, and it had like a teeny tiny little electronic thing on it. It was like a trivia thing, and you could turn it on, and it would tell you a page to go to, a question to go to, and then it would start like you'd have the question in front of you, and you'd have to click one of the 4 buttons, and then it would tell you if you got it right or wrong. Ours was baseball themed because my dad's a baseball nut. That's why I'm a baseball nut. That's what I remember. They had that in the bathroom.
Well, there's a whole generation of human beings that, I think I was probably the last generation, and it wasn't far behind me where they didn't have this issue, but because cell phones were kind of just becoming popular when I was in late middle school, early high school, I can remember having to look up people in the phone book. And if I wanted to ask a girl to go do something, you had to look up their family in the phone book. You had to call that number, and you had to pray to God and all things holy that dad didn't answer. You're like, please let mom answer. Please let mom answer. Because it was frightening to have to talk to the dad and say, who is this?
It's crazy you had to do all this work to try and get a date. Like, you're researching her phone number, you're thinking of a line in your head, you're actually dialing the phone, you're listening to the dial tone. You just couldn't have accepted early on that the answer was going to be no.
But this are the only options that we had. The only shot that you had to shoot was look it up in the white pages, excuse me. There were white pages. Was it white pages that was business?
The yellow pages.
The yellow pages were business?
I remember
you had to look it up
pages
in the phone book, and they would give you their address. And when I was 13, we won the Babe Ruth World Series.
Humble brag.
No, what I'm saying is we were on the cover of the Mid-County phone book.
Dude, you're a cover model?
Our team was on
Ryan Brauninger, Yellow Pages cover model.
But it like that, I can just remember having to call people's houses and not knowing, especially if it was a girl that I wanted to go to the movies or whatever. Like, that was stressful. And I think that it hardened you as a young man.
What year was that?
Oh, it would have been 98, 99.
What were the hot movies in 1998? 1998
I was 12, 13 years old. But this was, we had also, about that time, like AOL Instant Messenger was popular. So you were hoping that the girl would be on there. But even still, like, she wasn't going to just let you, like, the parents weren't going to let her go out on a date because you asked her on AOL Instant Messenger. You had to call.
The Parent Trap.
Parent Trap, that was Lindsay Lohan.
Yeah. By the way, she's a rocket still.
Really?
Yeah, duh.
I thought Hillary Duff was the one that kept herself
Both
together.
of them. Yeah. Remember, Lindsay Lohan kind of went off the deep end for a while, but she has rebounded significantly.
You know who hasn't? You know who I saw from my generation that has really tanked?
Britney Spears.
Yeah, she has definitely.
Woof.
At one point, Britney Spears was the most attractive woman on the planet.
Well, have you heard the story how Billy almost married her?
No, I don't want to hear it again.
By Billy almost marrying Britney Spears, he almost once had a chance encounter.
I was talking about Amanda Bynes.
Oh yeah, dude.
She looks like something that crawled out of the swamp.
Crazy glow down.
Let me look up.
Right, that's what the kids calling them glow up. So hers, the opposite would be a glow down.
Man, look at this picture.
I don't know.
That checks
Yeah, I
out.
know. She was real pretty, really pretty. I don't want to see
The
the other
before and
ones.
afters are
Please
crazy.
stop.
She looks like a totally different human. She's 39 years old. She's my age.
You're 39.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was it like when Jesus walked the earth?
Hey, listen,
Got him.
you're either getting older or you aren't.
That's true.
That's the only
It
options
beats
we
the
got in this
alternative.
world.
Beats the alternative.
And my beard, I'm finding it harder and harder to keep the white hairs out of it. So I don't know what we're gonna do. My wife is being supportive and wants me to get the Just for Men stuff. And
Can I ask you, like, is that something that you don't have to reveal your deepest, darkest secrets, but is that something that bothers you?
No, it's the realization because I'm the person that I wake up and I don't feel 39, and I think there's
you
part of me
certainly
that
don't
makes
act
me.
it.
There's a part of me that believes that that's a problem. Like, hey, you're 39. You should be acting a certain way, but I don't wake up and think 39. And then you look in the mirror every morning when you're brushing your teeth or whatever, and there's more white hair showing up in your beard.
Yeah.
And it's a humbling reminder that this is what's happening.
Sure. I went to the barber a couple weeks ago, and Abby, she's like combing my hair or like shaving whatever, and she's like, "Ooh, you have a gray hair," and I'm like, "Okay, cool." To me, it's like that seems inevitable. At some point, right? My mom gets her hair colored. My dad just kind of doing the whole salt and pepper thing. Like he's obviously going gray. I know it's coming, so I just don't let it bother me, I guess.
I don't know that it bothers me. Again, like I know that there's something. If I really cared that much about it,
You'd
I
go
could
do something
color it.
about
But like, it's.
There's an NBA player like last week. He's obviously losing his hair, so he's got some sort of spray on thing, and like
LeBron James.
no, I'm talking about somebody else. He like made a move and like obviously brushed his head against his opponent's white jersey, and some of his hair came off. that was on my timeline not too long ago. I don't think I'd ever do that. I think I'm very much of the mindset of you or Scott Van Pelt. Like if I started losing it, I think I'm just gonna come on home.
Yeah, and I started losing my hair. I can remember I was heckling a basketball referee at McNeese my senior year, and I was heckling him because he had, well, I'll just call it what it is. His hair looked like Stephen McGee's does now. Okay. And I was heckling him for that, and he said, "Take that hat off, big dog." And I took my hat off. He goes, "Oh, you ain't far behind." And he was right. He was right.
He clapped
And
back
so
at
he knew. And so it was probably, 2007 or 8. I started shaving it all the time, and I've been doing it since.
I think hopefully, knock on wood, I'm going to be pretty lucky as far as losing my hair. That's something that would bother me, is losing my hair.
What about you, Nick? What's your plans whenever this thing starts going south?
Both my grandparents and my dad have pretty good hairlines still.
Yeah, I was about to say my dad and even my grandpa, like they never really lost their hair, so I'm not worried about it. But I do have a very visible gray spot, just random.
Is that a birthmark?
No, came about after I started working here, so I'm gonna blame TexAgs. It's TexAgs' fault.
That's all. Hand
It's
up,
Richard
Nick. That's
Zane's
on me.
fault,
That's on
yeah.
me. I apologize if you want to do just for men. I'm willing to help you.
I don't care.
expense it.
I think it looks cool, to be honest with you.
Was
It does look sick.
AOL Instant Messenger a thing for you?
No, I was after AOL Instant Messenger. Like I got my phone when I was in the 7th grade, so at that point I was just texting.
Did you have a limit on text messages? When I first started,
I think
we did.
so, yeah. We definitely had a limit when we first started, but we only had one laptop computer in the house when I was, would have been at the age where I want to instant message my friends or everybody's available, stuff like that. So I didn't have, free access to the internet like a lot of my peers did. Like I was probably one of the later adopters of Facebook when all of my middle school friends were already on it.
If I gave you the term *69, do you know what that means?
Oh yeah, that's a prank call for sure.
So that was whenever like the first renditions of
*69
caller ID showed up, and we had a white caller ID that had like a digital name would pop up on the top of it, and it was old school, And that was the way that we would prank call people. You had to star 69 them because it wouldn't show up on the caller ID. That was, and then I can distinctly remember when solicitation calls started and like you started recognizing. Yeah, you started recognizing the number, which still happens 20 years later.
Well, I like now the phones will be like
probable spam.
Spam.
Yeah.
Or spam detector. That's awesome.
I've just gotten to the point where if I don't have your number stored, I'm not answering.
I still answer. I will absolutely answer. I answered one of those phone calls yesterday. 2 days ago, you heard me. I was on the phone with that person and she was like, well, you guys use our product. And I was like, I have no idea. And she goes, oh, well, your email. And she read my email, my work email. That's the email we have on file. And I'm like,
They're getting good at it.
Maybe Kay or Nick's using my stuff.
Almost got
I don't know what's going on.
I almost got
You know what they get it
insurance.
from? LinkedIn.
LinkedIn?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
And that's the other thing. Somebody not too long ago he made a comment to me. He goes, you haven't accepted my request on LinkedIn. It's like, dude, I have not been on LinkedIn in months. The only reason I created a LinkedIn profile was when I was in grad school and we had to for a project.
I think I've used LinkedIn about the same time I used Facebook. It's probably been 2013.
I'm on Facebook every day. I'll scroll through it a little bit. And that's the other thing. I'm not accepting your friend request. I'm not accepting your Instagram follow request. I'm not accepting your Facebook friend, LinkedIn, anything unless I know you. I'm like that.
I probably need to put something in my voicemail. Say, hey, if I don't have your number, I didn't answer it. If you really need me, shoot me a text.
Yeah.
I just, the prank calls, or not the prank calls, the solicitors have gotten completely out of hand. And I almost got. So right after I bought my new truck, I guess, I don't know if they pay for this information, but I don't know how these people get all of your information once you buy a house, once you buy a truck. I'm sure somebody in the chat can tell me how they get my address to start sending me. These look like real letters. Like they look like certified legit mail saying, if you don't contact us, you're going to lose all coverage on your truck. And I called them and I started asking them questions about this policy or whatever. And they're like, well, we just need to know what kind of truck you bought, where you bought it from. And I'm like, okay, I immediately knew that this was a scam. But I also had a buddy of mine that he claims this to be true. He's from Southeast Texas, but he says if you call these people or you answer a phone, if you answer a telemarketing call,
they're recording your voice.
They are
for AI use. Absolutely.
I don't know about that. I'm saying that if he says they'll stop doing that if you ask them if they want to buy drugs off of you. So he answers these telemarketer calls and asks them if they want to buy heroin, and he claims that they'll get them to stop calling.
What's your buddy's number?
I wouldn't do that to him. I've heard him. He goes, "You want to buy some heroin?" And it just if it's a real person on the other end, it just completely stops them in their tracks. It's pretty funny.
That's funny.
And I have gone down rabbit holes on YouTube late at night of watching these scam baiters. Have you seen this? Like they hack into these.
They use like voice changers to sound like old people,
and they hack into these telemarketing systems. Most of them are in India, and they hack into like their CCTV. So these guys are like, I see you wearing that green shirt in there, and they freak out. I think Scam Baiters, I think, is the YouTube page, one of them. But it's hysterically funny. And then they post compilations of the guys melting down.
Yeah.
Whenever they figure out that they've been hacked. It's so good.
Do the meltdowns on Scam Baiters look like the meltdown we saw in Baton Rouge today from the governor?
Not all that dissimilar.
Huh.
Not all that dissimilar.
So they speak English probably about as well, too.
Randy in the chat said Tiffany Amber Thiessen, Saved by the Bell, is still hot. Kelly Kapowski, probably my first crush ever.
My first crush?
That would have been a little bit before y'all's time.
My first crush would have been, and still my celebrity number one is Natalie Portman from the Star Wars movies.
From the Tribe.
From the Attack of the Clones. When did that movie come out? The terrible movie, by the way. Attack of the Clones.
Nick, did you have one? First crush?
Ooh.
2002.
I'm sure I did. I have to think about it. But, by the way, that movie did not stink. That second movie?
Attack of the Clones?
No.
I mean, the saving grace for Attack of the Clones is the last 30 minutes.
Yeah,
because that's one of the most epic fight scenes.
Yep. I completely agree.
if I had to rank the prequel trilogy, it's 3, 2, 1 in that order as far as strength and
that's the correct order.
Storyline. I hope that's not a controversial take, because if anybody likes Phantom Menace, I can't be friends with you.
I had a big crush on Carrie Underwood, early Carrie Underwood.
She's still gorgeous.
She's had some work done, but she's still very good looking. But early Carrie Underwood was.
Who's your current number one celebrity crush?
I don't know. I don't know that I can spit one out at the top of my head.
Nick, do you have one?
Ashley K. Brauninger.
I'm not answering this question.
We're both married.
Okay, then I guess I won't either.
You're not married.
Fine.
Smart move.
I won't answer.
You're not married.
But she's listening, and she also knows the answer, so she'll be upset. She'll probably text me and be like, I can't believe you brought her up. That's how she sounds. She's the wah, 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 wah,
wow.
Wah,
you should probably
it's
just
like,
say the woman's name now, because you're digging yourself this hole.
Who cares? I'm digging myself a hole.
Is Kay still here?
She is.
Ask Kay what her first celebrity crush was.
She's been listening.
She's thinking. Hold on.
She has to think. Yours was
she's like
immediate recall. Nick,
Kelly Kapowski, but every guy in my generation, Kelly Kapowski was.
Nick, did you have a first celebrity crush? Did you share?
Dude, I can't remember, to be quite honest with you. I don't know.
Kay, it's not this
Kay's
deep.
going
Give us
through
an answer.
the Rolodex back there. She forgot his name, she says.
What?
Josh Hartnett.
She's still looking.
How is she still looking?
I don't know.
All right,
anyways,
she's losing. Yes, you're losing the audience.
I've lost interest.
We lost interest now, Kay. Sorry.
I've lost interest because we have these things in our phones or our hands called cell phones, and now I have the attention span of a gnat. I can't walk around without going like this.
You got to get.
I combined the both of them.
Yeah. $168 million currently owed to fired coaches. That's an insane number. It's not even Halloween. Are you dressing up for Halloween? Is that something your girlfriend makes you do?
I'm not going to dress up for Halloween because after last night, now have Friday night plans. So I'm going to be locked inside my apartment on the couch watching baseball.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Hey, you got to, hold on. We don't need to talk Dodgers all the time. They are in the World Series. This is a top of mind sports show. The only thing that I'll say about this World Series is I see your frustration with Dave Roberts now after watching the games.
Okay.
And I do think that this would be a massive stain on his resume, even if it's a Hall of Fame resume. I do think this would be a big blotch if he loses to this Blue Jays team with an injured Bo Bichette and an injured George Springer.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
The Dodgers are so far and away the more talented team.
The bullpen's just so bad and unreliable, which makes Tuesday night, that 18-inning game, it makes it even more impressive. Sorry, I guess that was Monday night. They all kind of bleed together at this point when you have to operate yesterday on 3.5 hours sleep, such as I did. They did not give up a run for 11 innings. That's mind-boggling to me because I once watched them play a game in Baltimore earlier this year where they couldn't get one out after holding a team hitless through 7 2/3 with a 6-run lead. Yes, 8 2/3. They had to get one out to win the game with a 5-run lead, and they couldn't do that. That's how bad the Dodger bullpen is. But, I mean, this series is kind of going a little bit nightmare fuelish for Dodger fans because I won't say I underestimated the Blue Jays at all. 5, 6, 7 games is absolutely
when they're
what I
missing
expected.
Bichette and Springer, that's two massive pieces of their order. And I'm sitting there going, how are they going to score runs against this Dodger staff?
But they are relentless in the batter's box.
Pitches
Every
off.
single one of them is a tough at bat. Alejandro Kirk is the focal point of it.
They don't overswing. They hit the ball the other way really well. They run bases like madmen. They do a lot of little stuff, and there's no doubt that the Los Angeles Dodgers are clearly the more talented team here.
It would be interesting to look up how many easy innings Dodger pitching had compared to what Toronto has had to deal with, because it feels like the Blue Jays have had traffic in almost every inning,
and they're just
it's been high
bats,
stress innings, even if they don't score, that have forced the pitch counts up on Snell or yesterday Glass now, et cetera.
What's one position where where's one position that you would clearly take the Blue Jays guy over the Dodgers guy?
Nowhere.
I agree. It's
Nowhere.
at least it's not clear cut. There's positions where it's close. First base is close. Freddie's a Hall of Famer, but Vladdy's
They're both
playing.
good. They're both really, really good. But I would take
Catcher's
Freddie.
close.
No, it's not. It's not. Will Smith's a way better catcher than Alejandro Kirk.
Alejandro Kirk's
Kirk is
an all-star.
okay. So is Will Smith, and Will Smith's a Silver Slugger, and he's probably going to be the main catcher on Team USA Baseball this next year. Like
Well, Alejandro Kirk's going to be Mexico's
he is
catcher.
the best catcher in
All I'm saying
baseball,
it's
not
not-
named
it's
Cal
not-
Raleigh.
it's
Sorry,
not-
I forgot about Cal Raleigh. Cal Raleigh's going to be the catcher for Team USA Baseball next year, but even Will Smith's a better catcher defensively than Cal Raleigh.
But I'm saying the gap isn't some crazy gap. The
Yeah.
Dodgers are favored in every of these positions, but there's not some just giant chasm between them. At
Second
first
base, I'd probably take an injured Bo Bichette over the injured Tommy Edman.
well, Bo Bichette's not even playing in the field.
Yeah, he's playing second base.
I thought they were bringing him in.
He was playing second base. They were taking him out to run.
That's right.
In key spots late.
Yeah,
'Cause
when he puts
Springer was
ball
the
in play-
DH.
when he puts the ball in play, he cannot run.
Yeah.
So yeah, I enjoy.
I'd take the Blue Jay bullpen, every single one of them, over the Dodgers.
I mean, Shohei Ohtani is must-watch television anytime he does anything on the baseball field, especially when he comes to the plate right now. But you can sit there and watch the game and wait for Shohei to come up and be entertained by Shohei's at bat. And in between Shohei coming to the plate, everything, if you're a real baseball person, everything the Jays are doing is entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
And I would still lean heavily toward the Dodgers winning a 2 out of 3 series now. But what the Jays have done is they've shrunken it now to the law of averages really doesn't matter anymore.
Nope.
Because the sample size is so small now
It's a
with the
best
3
of
games.
3.
Yeah. So anything can happen. I'd still lean Dodgers, but anything can happen.
Need a really good start from Snell to Knight and Trey Savage, who's been fantastic. It's still amazing that he
Pitching
was
in college baseball.
pitching in college baseball 2 years ago. 2 years ago, and now he was fantastic in Game 1. He was fantastic in the ALCS. Kind of got to hope that a rowdy crowd at Dodger Stadium, hopefully they actually get there early today because the traffic.
Johnny Manziel was there.
The traffic on the highways are terrible.
You see, Johnny was there. He stayed for the whole 18 innings the other night.
I didn't see that. I
Yeah.
didn't know he was at that game. I know one person was at the Dodger game last night, but I'm not going to share her name because it's also the celebrity crush. So,
Oh.
yeah.
Richard's celebrity crush, Nick, is Sydney Sweeney, America's sweetheart.
I didn't say it. I do not recall.
Not a bad pick.
Why is that, Nick? You got a couple reasons or what?
I can think of, maybe 2.
All right. $168 million owed currently to fired coaches. Here's the exercise that I have to take us home today before we get to our We Learn Wednesday, which I did not share with you and Nick because I think it's more fun if I come up with them and then you guys can react to them. But I have a We Learn Wednesday presidential facts edition today after you did your Donald Trump impression earlier.
I can't wait to see it. It's going to be glorious, this impression.
Here's the thing, though. Nick does a pretty good one, but
does
he's
pretty
a little he's camera shy with it.
I don't really want to do that on the interweb, yeah.
All right. So here's the little game that I came up with, and we can talk about these specifically. And look, we're guessing. Nobody really knows about what these coaches are going to do except for these coaches. I think that's been a very well-made point by Josh Pate, most notably, is like, we can view a certain job as X, but it only matters what these candidates view it as. And they may view it as Y and Z, and that's all that matters. It doesn't matter what you think, how you're going to tier these jobs. If you think the Florida job's better than the LSU job, that doesn't matter. It's all comes down to the person that they are trying to hire. So with all that said, we'll kick these names around. And do you think these coaches will be
Are you having an Olin?
I just had an Olin. Will these coaches be at their current schools next year? Starting with Hugh Freeze.
No.
No,
Absolutely not.
Too much buzz around him already being gone.
Here's the thing, though. Why haven't they punted him yet?
Is there
think
one of those
him beating
contracts
Auburn?
where there's an X date where his buyout goes down?
Why did Florida hang on to Billy Napier for as long as they did?
They were
when
I know,
every week it was, is this the week he gets?
I can tell you that, Nick, is because they wanted to get past the 4 games. So that The
buyout
entire
goes
roster.
down.
No. The entire
transfer
roster
portal.
wouldn't bail and try to hold their red shirt. But do you think Hugh Freeze, like, are they holding him because he won a game against Arkansas, which was pretty disgusting for the neutral to watch?
They're not. They're not holding him just 'cause
I'm just saying, like, it may be one of those deals where he's owed way less money if they fire him after December 1st.
Well, how about this situation? And this is a name that's kind of been on our social media feeds the last day or so. Remember when everybody in College Station knew Brent was leaving Texas A&M, but they waited. Maryland waited until a certain day because the cost it would like the administration would have to pay Texas A&M went down significantly, and that's when they decided to make the hire for Brent Williams. Now, of course, it obviously didn't keep him from recruiting on behalf of Maryland.
Yeah, that was a little unsavory video that came out yesterday.
Everything about that dude's unsavory, and if you guys have been paying attention, it had been unsavory for years. He was just talking in circles and confusing you for so long.
So I think Hugh Freeze is out.
But that's what I'm saying. I think Hugh Freeze is out too. But are they waiting until X date on the calendar when the buyout drops significantly and they can save some cash? Because remember, they are still paying Brian Harsin.
Well, can you look up these names as I go so we can get a little bit of clarity? Mike Norvell, will he be the head coach in Tallahassee next year?
No. They're already kicking his, I feel like we've already heard too much already to think he can save his job.
I didn't know he's from Irving, Texas.
Yeah, he's a Texan.
We learned Wednesday. I learned that Mike Norvell is from Irving. No, he's out. He's like, that's another thing. If your AD is out here putting out votes of confidence in the middle of the season or other statements that are saying we're giving them our full support for the rest of 2025, that the writing seems to be on the wall.
Man, but listen to this. Mike Norvell has a restructured contract with Florida State that runs through 2031 and includes an 85% buyout clause, which would be approximately $53.3 million after the 2025 season. What I've been able to glean through various sources about Florida State is they are hurting for money, and especially before the rev share model went into play, they were pulling money from other big sports on campus to try to help fund football. And it was a huge detriment to the other sports on campus, and it was making some people really upset. I don't know, man. I don't know what kind of finances, I don't know what kind of budget the Florida State boosters have got. I don't know how deep their pockets are, but that's a pretty hefty check to write. Lane Kiffin.
No, he's moving, right?
I don't know. He called Oxford home last offseason in a very public video and in that documentary.
It seems like Lane, though.
And he's been on Pat McAfee yesterday saying he will not make a move for money. He's never made moves for money. Josh being in here has completely got you befuddled.
He's got something in his hand. It seems like a note, like to get called into the AP, the principal's office, and you're going home.
Josh is the principal here?
Oh, for sure.
I'll let Billy know that.
Absolutely.
I'll let Billy know that you said that.
Okay.
What is Billy, the headmaster? Superintendent?
I don't know.
Come on, give me a descriptor that's only going to get you in trouble.
I'm already in trouble. I live in trouble.
I think Lane Kiffin, I'm kind of split. I think the comments he made about the Ole Miss student section and all that stuff, that's pretty clear indicator that it gives him a runway to get out of town on. So I'll think that he leaves. I don't think he's staying.
You think Lane's out? I think Lane's out.
Nick, do you have an opinion?
I don't know how to feel about that one, to be honest with you. I've seen a lot of conversation about like Ole Miss might be the best job out of the three at the moment.
Yeah. Again, how do you determine that? Like, I don't.
Yeah. No. Yes. Going back to what Pate said. Yes, but I feel like if he's going to take one, it would be the LSU job. Boy,
but again, like with all the stuff that's going on in Baton Rouge right now, like it's messy.
He loves that stuff, though, doesn't he?
He does. He does thrive in that. That's his environment. Shane Beamer.
I hope he's still there.
Yeah, I think
that's another. Let me look up that contract.
They're not going to fire
I would just
him.
like to watch him continue to flounder.
Yeah, they're not going to fire him, but if he would take the Virginia Tech job. That's the only thing I see happening, but I don't think they're going to fire him.
I think he would take whatever job is offered to him,
But the buyout's nothing.
because he seems like the type of guy who's always looking over his shoulder and trying to outrun the death snail. You know what I mean?
Beamer's contract was extended through 2030, starting with a salary of $8.15 million and including annual $100,000 raises. The new deal, which has a $5 million buyout that decreases yearly, was approved by South Carolina Board of Trustees.
Decreases yearly. That's
So
interesting.
the buyout starts at $5 million and decreases like that. They can get him out of that.
Yeah.
And that's nothing for any other school that may want to try to hire him. And there's rumors about James Franklin and Virginia Tech today. Did you see that?
I have not seen that.
A lot of
James
rumors about
Franklin,
James Franklin and Virginia Tech, but
Interesting.
I don't think he would be fired unless they could lose out, right? Don't they have A&M, they have Oklahoma, they have Ole Miss, they've got Clemson, and they got Coastal. Coastal's not bad. Like, what if they go 0-4?
I'd laugh.
Like,
Very
what if they
hard.
lose out? What's their current record? South Carolina is 3-5. 3-9 with a $5 million buyout. That might be enough.
Be awesome. I think.
I mean,
it's just kind of
4-8.
clicked in my head. He's a very similar character to our old friend Brent. He is.
He likes to. He's like a pouty kid. When things don't go his way, but the way his
Giving a
mannerisms and
9-page
stuff.
document to the media after you get left out of the NCAA tournament is not a pouty kid.
No, I'm talking about his mannerisms on the sideline. It's like somebody took his toys.
Yeah.
All right, Dan Mullen.
What is UNLV doing this year?
They're pretty good. I think they're 6-2, 7-1.
Dan Mullen. They're 6-1. That's wow.
And he has come out and said he's going to stay another year in Las Vegas, but I don't.
That's what
believe
I
that.
think would make the most sense too.
Why?
Because it's almost like he's in.
If Arkansas wants to hire him,
True. I would definitely take. Well, would you rather live in Las Vegas or would you rather live in Fayetteville?
well, I know where I'd rather live, but I know where I'd rather coach too. But unless
It's
he
an
likes to
easier
get
path to success at UNLV than it is at Arkansas
Arkansas's
right
a tough
now.
job. Arkansas, I don't think any question, one of the probably 3 toughest football jobs in the conference.
Arkansas is going to remain a tough job for years and years to come.
There's not enough talent in the state, and there's too many regional rivals where you have to go into their place to get
When
good
is
players.
the last time they had it right? Bobby P's first go around, and even then they weren't winning
Bielema
national
had-
championships.
Bielema had a couple of good years, right? Brett Bielema.
Who was the head coach the year they lost to the Brady Hoke Michigan team in the Sugar Bowl?
What year was that?
Maybe 2014.
That'd have been Piglama.
Brady Hoke.
Man, for you think that he had a good tenure at Arkansas? He's 29-34 and 11-29 in SEC play. He had winning records in 14, 15, 16, including bowl wins in 14 and 15. Yeah, it is a tough job. It is. Oh, would you rank the toughest jobs in football in this league? Would be Kentucky, Mississippi State, and Arkansas.
Yeah,
And okay, here's a point for Dan Mullen. Dan Mullen had Mississippi State number 1 in the country.
yes, he did.
So
Yes,
if
he
I'm
did.
Arkansas, I'm looking at that and go, why can't he do it here?
He had Mississippi State number 1 in the country with Kay Nagley's favorite NFL quarterback leading the way.
She just left.
Dak Prescott.
Yep,
Oh.
Dak.
All right, I think Dan Mullen's out because one thing we know about him is he's kooky and I don't trust him. So he can say he's going to stay in Vegas. I tend to believe he will not.
I'll say
And- and
He would be a good hire.
He would be. If I'm Arkansas, if I'm Oklahoma State, I'm tripping over myself to try to hire Dan Mullen.
so.
How old is he? Do you have it pulled up?
I was wrong. Michigan didn't beat Arkansas in that Sugar Bowl. It was Virginia Tech. So, oops, sorry.
Daddy Beamer.
Daddy Beamer.
Dan Mullen age.
Oh, I had him pulled up.
53. So he's got, I'd hire him. That's probably seven good years if you're being conservative. I mean, Willie Fritz is at the peak of his career and he's 64. That's a name that I don't even have on here, but let's throw him on here. Willie Fritz. I think he stays because of his age, and I think Tillman Fertitta would pony up and pay him.
Yeah, that's what you said earlier, right? Earlier this week is they've got a donor. And really, to compete in this game, you only need one donor that's willing to write blank checks.
You notice Joey McGuire's name hadn't come up on any of these coaching searches. You know why?
Because they got a donor?
Because they got Cody Campbell.
Yeah, well, they got other problems.
They got quarterback problems.
Massive problems.
I think Willie Fritz will stay at Houston. You got a vote?
I'd also say that he stays at Houston.
Yep. Yeah, this is first year this year, right? First season? Yeah. No, he's not going nowhere.
I bet if I asked you guys who the head coach at Boise State was before you looked at this rundown, you wouldn't be able to tell me.
Correct.
Spencer Danielson. Let me say, Boise has been really good at hiring coaches.
Brian Harsin
didn't do anything wrong on the field.
Well, there's also no proof that he did anything wrong off the field.
Yeah, that's true.
They just had upset donors in Auburn looking for a reason to get rid of him. They did that man wrong.
Chris Peterson,
their GOAT
right
there.
So I think that if I'm an AD elsewhere, and I look at what Boise's been able to do in terms of the guys they've had at their head coaching positions and think like that's a pretty safe bet.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But Boise's like a unique place. Like I think it does draw people and keep people there a while. I think he's in year 3 there. I could see him sticking around.
It also draws ducks migrating north or south to their turf because they look down and they think it's a pond.
So John Summerall is the head coach at Tulane. He's the next name on this list. I think John Summerall is leaving. I don't think he's leaving for LSU. And there are people that are in the state of Louisiana that think if the governor is involved in hiring LSU's next head coach, could he have the gall to pull that next head coach from another state institution? I think
But Tulane's not a state school.
It's in New Orleans. It's the second biggest school in the state.
It's
in terms of
New
clout.
Orleans, and it's a state school for sure, but it is not a state school.
Right, but you know what I'm saying. It's private. It's a private school.
They call it Julane.
Oh, really?
Yeah, actually, a large percentage of their student population, comparatively, is Jewish.
Well, to answer the question, does the governor have the gall to replace?
Yes, absolutely.
I think we just
that
saw
governor has the gall to do whatever he wants if he wants his football team to win.
I do think there's some optics at play here because you're LSU, and this is the LSU job. Are you really going to pull a Florida with Billy Napier and hire a guy?
Is Josh still in here?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Did Josh, are you still here? Because that light randomly got brighter.
Oh, I didn't see Josh leave.
Our studio's haunted.
Our
studio's haunted.
There's a trap door that he got out of the underground tunnel.
I think that's kind of like upstairs underground tunnel.
So I don't think the LSU fan base would do too well hiring Tulane's coach. I think they feel they're above that.
Can I tell the LSU fan base something? I don't think they are in any position to feel good or bad about a coaching hire on day one at the press conference.
Well, nobody knows anything about the future.
You guys got to get over the winning the press conference thing. You won the press conference when you hired Notre Dame's sitting head coach. Look how that turned out.
Don't you think there's optics at play here? Like LSU, you're going to go hire Tulane's head coach?
Is that a problem if Tulane wins the American and goes to the college football playoff?
In that state, I think there is. There shouldn't be. But
the only thing that they should care about is winning and hiring the right person that can lead them to more wins than Mr. Kelly.
Texas A&M hired U of H's sitting head coach.
I know, but there were no bad optics about that.
Oh, I agree. But I do think that they view that as a little bit higher cotton.
Kevin Sumlin was the highest name on the group of whatever it was back then, sitting coaches. And Art Briles before him when he went to Baylor.
Okay, that's a good segue into our next name, Eric Morris at UNT.
Not going to Arkansas.
I think he's leaving. And I think
Yeah,
somebody should hire him.
I think he'd be very, very smart to get out of Denton as fast as possible.
There's going to be so many jobs available. Like some of these names are just there's
Who was the coach before him?
the trickle down effect that's about to
the
happen
guy
too. You
that
got to
went
think
to
about
be
that.
the OC at Oklahoma. Seth, what was his last name?
Latrell.
Yeah, Seth Luttrell. Seth Luttrell had his name for a little while in
Where's
head
he at
coaching
now?
circles. We got fired at North Texas because he didn't jump and leave Denton at the first sign or first possible job that came his way, and then the job caught up with him because
Matthew Dawson says he's at Tennessee as an analyst.
Yeah, you're not gonna win at North Texas.
Matthew Dawson, get him in here. Get him the mic. Ask him what he thinks about these mid-major coaches.
He's on his way.
No, I don't want to hear from this fraud.
Whoa.
I don't want to hear from the. Oh, he's
Is he? Can he hear
He's
us?
putting on headphones.
he's sitting on headphones.
All
All
right,
right,
Dawson.
he's good.
I'm going to ask you about these mid-major coaches. You just tell me if you think they're leaving their current job next year or not. Dan Mullen.
No, I don't think so. Believe it
Why?
or not.
Because he said he wasn't?
I don't know. I think there's a certain job that he would take, and I don't think those jobs necessarily.
You don't think
want
Arkansas?
him.
Arkansas should be
Arkansas
stumbling
could
over
hire him.
themselves.
I could see him leaving to Arkansas.
Oak
but
State?
Arkansas stumbles
I don't
over
think he
themselves
goes
when
to
they
Oak
try to
State,
read
but-
anything longer than a 4-letter word.
I think Dan Mullen's a little bit above Oklahoma State in his mind. I think, and he's got things humming there at UNLV. Although tough game this week against Jason X, New Mexico.
Yeah, that's another name you love, Jason X. Spencer Danielson.
I think he stays. It's a great spot. It's a good job.
Yeah.
To have. I think
John
it's fine.
Summerall.
Yeah, I think he leaves. I know
Auburn?
you just talked about it. Auburn, if he gets fired, I know you talked about LSU and the state not liking that. I think they would be. I think any team in college football would be very remiss if they didn't take a long look at what John Summerall has done everywhere he's been, and the attitude that he brings to the football player or to football field, the players that he gets, the development that you've seen from his players. He's such a good coach.
Well, you're going to stay on here for the rest of these names because this is the ballpark that you hit in. Eric Morris.
Absolutely should get hired somewhere.
Yeah, and I think he's got to go.
And that's kind of what I was like. He's winning. He's put himself in a position to take a job. You are not going to win long term at North Texas. So ride the success that you're on right now and elevate yourself in your standing. Right, Matthew? Does that make sense to me?
Yeah,
you?
I think it makes sense as well. And I know you mentioned Arkansas not being the spot for him. I think he could go there for sure.
Well, I was just making that comment because his last name is Morris.
Well, I've seen that on Twitter too. Arkansas fans, it's like, hey, there's this guy, right? He coached Cam Ward and John Mateer, or not, and Drew Mestamaker, and had a part in Patrick Mahomes' development, but his last name is Morris.
Matt Rule.
I think he stays.
It's Penn State or bust.
It is, and I don't think that it's. I don't know. It could absolutely be Matt Rule there, but I think there's so many other coaches too that would be good hires.
I think especially if
Such
Matt
an
Rule loses
underwhelming
this
hire.
weekend, I mean, he's been embarrassed a couple of times. The shine is definitely worn off of him. I think that the Penn State fan base could Mark Stoops that thing.
Yeah, 100%. And Matt Rule, sure you get USC at home, but I don't know, USC. That Nebraska secondary is not great as it seems on paper because the quarterbacks that they have played this year.
I don't think they played a top 50 passing offense.
No, except for Cincinnati, but you played them in week 1. And we know that week 1 Cincinnati is different than week 10 Cincinnati.
You know what I love
Speaking
about
of the
this
head
guy?
guy at Cincinnati,
Dude, Scott Satterfield. I mean, it is. I thought it was a terrible hire. I literally thought it was all garbage.
came from Louisville, right?
Yeah, came from Louisville, and then Jeff Brom ended up getting that. Louisville fans were good, take him. They wanted him out of there, and the promise with him was okay, maybe in this new era in the Big 12, he'll be able to recruit a little bit stronger than some of the other head coaches that you could have hired, and it's working out this year.
Yeah.
I mean, you got the quarterback that you want, you got 2 stable running backs there. Cyrus Allen has 9 touchdowns this year.
He's had a good year.
He's been unreal, and the defensive line's finally healthy. The secondary is pretty terrible, so I don't know if I love the spot that they're in going to Rice Eccles this week against Utah, but boy, Scott Satterfield, I think he stays put, but he's done a really good job. But that's
the trickle down, man. We're talking about jobs we know that are open, which is 15 right now.
Right.
There's going to be 30 to 35 open.
We started our TexAgs coaching carousel story. Stuart Wade's the one who's doing all of that. It's October still.
Yeah.
We usually don't do that till middle to end of November.
All right, last one before I have some deep cuts for you,
Okay.
Dawson. See what you think about the deep cuts. This is a guy that I think he's got to get out. His shine has wore off, but I think he's got to get out, or he kind of becomes a risk of being like Jeff Traylor, and it's a guy right up I-35 and G.J. Kinney.
Okay, yeah, I had a feeling you were going to say that. And a couple weeks ago, I would have been like, all right, that's the guy at the Oklahoma State job, right? But they have – the thing about their losses, though, this year, it's been 2 OT losses. It was a last-second touchdown with Arkansas State on the road. I mean, they're like 3 plays away from only having 1 loss. So they're going to give people problems. I know that they just got manhandled by James Madison, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know that any program is going to be willing to hire him after the output of this season.
Yep.
But
And it's the same thing with Traylor.
Yeah. I agree with you. I mean,
And now I still think people will say, well, Matt Campbell's done it too. Now I think Matt Campbell can still get out.
100%.
Like,
I
I
think
don't think it's too late for Matt Campbell.
I don't think that Penn State would overlook necessarily Matt Campbell. You know what I'm saying? Like what he's done at Iowa State it's a garbage place to have a football program. You're not like the premier program in your state, and your state is Iowa, right? Like you're in a tough spot there as it is, and he doesn't recruit very well. That's the big issue too. He doesn't necessarily utilize the transfer portal, so it's like.
But you don't know. Like Mike Elko, the knock on him was he supposedly couldn't recruit. Well, you put him in the head chair at a place like this where he's got unlimited resources and he's got a way to develop players, which I think Matt Campbell clearly does. Like if you hand Matt Campbell a Rolls Royce when he's been driving this tractor through the cornfields, he might know how to drive it better.
Okay, well, this is not an apples-to-apples comparison, but this job a year ago at Texas A&M was open, right? Or would you consider hiring Dabo Sweeney, and why not?
That's going to be hard pressed for me to answer in the affirmative because I've been a big skeptic of Dabo Sweeney in the last 4 years.
Correct, but why?
Because I think he's a little snake oily.
And he doesn't use the transfer portal
either. Yeah.
And Matt Campbell historically has not used the transfer portal either. And that's a program, by the way, that like it's actually extra impressive how well he's done there because he hasn't used the transfer portal. It's like a testament to the player development that he's had there, which is like, what you had at Clemson in the 2010s, but now you're in this world where, okay, like kids are impatient, right? You want to. There are a lot of good players dipping in the transfer portal that maybe are even better fits than certain players that you've recruited on your own. So it's like a disservice to your program if you're not using the transfer portal. And if you're a program like Penn State, like you are expecting, fans are expecting, ADs are expecting that you use the transfer portal and use it well, and Matt Campbell hasn't done that.
Yeah,
so like that's my concern there with Matt Campbell. I think he could still get out though, like you said.
Yeah, and there's some names that aren't on this list that we can certainly talk about. Clark Lee, Brent Key. Here are my new G5 names to watch, and this is where. So for those of you that are unaware, Matthew Dawson and his brain, like it's a special place. He knows every G5 head coach. I don't know how well he would do with like FCS, but it's pretty remarkable. But he does dive into some of these up and coming names. So I'm going to give me like your temperature on these guys where you think like they're really good and they're up and comers or not.
Sure.
Bob Chesney at James Madison.
Virginia Tech needs to hire him.
There's Virginia Tech and James Franklin rumors on the internet today.
I'm seeing that too, and I think James Franklin would be a good hire. I think if you can get him, you take him. But Bob Chesney, what he did at Holy Cross, you hear former players come out and talk. If you ever listen to an interview with any former player of Bob Chesney.
No, I had to look up his coaching history today before this show.
A dog. He will win, and all of his former players will come out and be like, yeah, I would probably die for that man. Like,
yeah, so he coached at a place called Salve Regina.
Yep.
He coached at a place called Assumption and then went to Holy Cross. And is now James
was
Madison.
Actually Brian Kelly's first job. I'm pretty sure he was the softball coach there.
That's true.
Funny tie
That's
right
true. While he was like at OC or DC or something, he was also the softball coach.
Wow. Here's the next one. Jerry Mack at Kennesaw State.
First year, it always gets interesting when you have a first-year coach, kind of dominating the way that he is. And Kennesaw State's not necessarily a place that's easy to win, given that it was an FCS school like 2 years ago.
He probably needs another year in the saddle to see if he can keep it going, but it's going to be.
But if some of these Sun Belt teams move on guys, like any of those Sun Belt teams are probably.
If Tulane comes open?
Yeah, you can give them a phone call for sure. I think there's other schools as well, other coaches that would also get phone calls as well. But yeah, Jerry Mack is an interesting one. I'm loving what he's doing there. I'm loving what he's doing.
All right, what about Ryan Carty?
Oh, okay.
Delaware.
Look, they're like playing well this year, but they're not going to win Conference USA or anything.
It's
like
their
that.
first year, though, right? As a FBS program.
For sure. I mean, the temperature, I'd say it's pretty lukewarm on him. But like, if you continue to kind of play really well in that conference, where you have some pretty good coaches in that conference, you have some really good coaches in that conference, and some good teams like Liberty with their resources, Western Kentucky with their history and what they've done, Louisiana Tech with their geography, like Florida International with Willie Simmons now. Oh my gosh, that's a guy that's freaking unreal over at Florida A&M a couple years ago. Now first year at FIU, they're right in Miami. Like they could. Zach Kitley's. Oh, actually, sorry, that's not Conference USA. They used to be though, but I don't know. That's a.
See, you can see his brain start going.
I know Ryan Carty is an interesting one. I don't think he's up for a job anytime soon, but a guy to watch out for in the future.
Charles Huff, Southern Miss.
First year at Southern Miss. I mean, they're probably going to win the Sun Belt West. I mean, they're undefeated right now. It's Troy and Arkansas State that are on their tail. Southern Miss still has to play both of them, and will probably win both of those games.
I think everybody kind of put them on the back burner after they lost in week 1 against Mississippi State because they were a live dog then.
I've been betting on them every single week, almost. And they've been absolutely mopping.
And they have, I mean, he's brought them out of the dumps. And I'm not saying that they're an elite program by any, but again, there's so many jobs coming open that you're going to look at guys like this and go, what is he? Like, what is his trajectory? What has he been? How does he function in this world, this version of college football? Charles Huff's an interesting. And the last one I think that's going to really fire you up here, Dawson, before we let you get out of here, because I think you were on this guy before he got out of his old job and went to be a coordinator. Sean Lewis.
Dude.
San Diego State.
Why Colorado canned him, well, not canned him, but demoted him was absolutely preposterous. He was at Kent State, a program you don't win at Kent State. Like, it is impossible to win there. As you're seeing right now with the atrocities that's going on right there, Kenny Burns getting fired. You have interim, it is a disaster over there. And Sean Lewis was winning football games. He was going to bowl games there, which doesn't happen. And he goes over and is the OC for Colorado, does great in a very interesting, RPO kind of offense there. And he's got San Diego State. Does anyone want to talk about their college football playoff potential? If they win out and beat Boise State, which they definitely could because they have one of the better defenses, in G5 right now. They're
a live dog.
They're a live dog right now.
Yep.
Benigel at quarterback is pretty solid. I mean, they're a live dog. And I think Sean Lewis, that's a guy that UCLA, boy, that's a great fit.
The problem is he's not been out west very long, but I don't know that matters.
Doesn't.
I like Sean Lewis. Remember, he came here with Kent State a couple of years ago in 2021 and kind of gave A&M problems.
Yeah.
Leon O'Neal had the pick six to spread the margin. I think A&M ran off from there, but it was a little touch and go, and it's an interesting RPO up-tempo game. I like it, man. I like Sean Lewis. Matthew Dawson, thank you for your expertise on G5 coaches.
You got it.
The way his brain works is amazing.
It's remarkable.
I'm just
truly
sitting
incredible
here because we're talking about Matt Rule, and you just want to know, hey, do you think he's moving or not? And he's like, ooh, well, I got to dive into that secondary and what they could possibly do in this week's matchup against USC. And, this kid, he was at this school before, but now he's playing in this guy's system. It just doesn't make sense. The way his brain works is amazing.
It is. It's remarkable. And we're going to pick a bunch of those games tomorrow on the B team. We have Thunderdome Thursday coming up. But before we got to let you go on a Wednesday, we got to learn some things. To say we learned Wednesday. I have interesting facts about presidents. Okay.
I don't have a lot, so I have nothing, actually. I know we don't have a lot of time, so go for it.
John Quincy Adams went skinny dipping in the Potomac every morning.
Nice.
Pretty sweet.
Ice bath.
Would you? Is that something you do, Nick, if you were president?
No. I'd be focused on other things.
Andrew Jackson.
Like what? Time out. Like what? What are you
Not gonna
focused
go
on?
there.
Andrew Jackson's face is on the $20 bill, but did you know he hated paper money and thought the future was in gold and silver?
He hated a lot of things.
I know. Abraham Lincoln established the Secret Service just hours before he was shot. However, its goal was to investigate counterfeit money. That's the original intention of the Secret Service.
Other than that, how was the play, Mrs. Lincoln?
Benjamin Harrison was the first president to have electricity in the White House, but with it being a new technology, he and his wife were scared of being shocked. So they left the lights on all day and all night.
That's an electric fact there.
Last one. Nick, you can go ahead and start rolling the outro if you want. Ronald Reagan was partially deaf in one ear due to an incident while filming a movie where a gun went off next to his head. He was also the first president to have been divorced.
He was also the first president to star in a movie about Newt Rockney.
Thank you for that, Richard.
You're welcome.
You brought something to We Learn Wednesday. We'll be right back here tomorrow. We're eating boudin on a Thunderdome Thursday after A&M dismantles, disrupts, and completely pulls back the curtain on the state of Louisiana. We thought, what better way to celebrate with some custom boudin from Nederland, Texas. All right, thank you guys for tuning into this Wednesday edition of the B Team. We'll see you tomorrow.